From San Francisco, California, this is the Rock and Roll Geek Show. This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name's Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Monday, August 9th, 2021, and it is 5:33 when I'm recording this episode. This is this is day 9 of the dog days of podcasting, where I attempt to do a show a day for the entire month of August, along with a bunch of other podcast nerds. I need audio comments, I need show reviews, and things that I can talk about during this dog days. This week, yesterday I had band practice, and I don't think I have practice until Friday, so I'm probably going to do a couple of longer episodes this week since I have some time on my hands, unless a last-minute band practice comes up, or there's a practice that I don't have on my schedule that I don't have on my calendar that I don't know about. But if I don't, I have a gig on Friday with Featherwitch. Maybe I'll do one or two longer episodes. I got a track by track of a couple of bands that I could do. I could do the Styx versus Dynasty Young. We'll see what happens. But I think I can do at least one regular Rock and Roll Geek Show. But today, I have an audio comment. Please keep these audio comments coming so you don't have to hear me cook Maryland crab boil like I did yesterday. Pretty sure that one wasn't the most well-received, but who knows? Maybe it was. But if you like those, don't send me any audio comments. By the way, audio comments count as supporting the show, time, talent, and treasure. So this is Adam Curry's deal, time, talent, and treasure. I don't know how else to say it. But the way to support the show, you can either give me some donations, which would be fan-effing-tastic, because without your donations, as you know, we'll just kill the show. And you could send me audio comments like this person did that I'm going to play in a few minutes. Or you can give your talent, which means, make album art, send me some music or anything like that. Or make me a scarf. I don't care. All right, friends. Here is an audio comment. I think this is from Adam Gerstein, I think.
Hey, Michael Butler, this is Adam Gerstein, the retired high school principal, and I'm here to give you a review of
New York accent. Oh, hold on, back it up here. I love the accent, Adam Gerstein.
This is Adam Gerstein, the retired high school principal, and I'm here to give you a review of handsome Dick Manitoba from the Bowery Electric.
Oh, nice. Did you hear that? High school principals, listen to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. No slouches on this show, friends, except for the host.
On July 31st, the first time that Manitoba has performed in 2 years.
I wanted to go. I was going to surprise him and show up. The person who introduced me to him, a girl named Patty, whose husband, Tim, played in Jet Boy for a short period of time when I was in Jet Boy. She introduced me to Handsome Dick, and she suggested I surprise him. Plane tickets were like $700, and donations ain't that high, so I couldn't afford it. But I wanted to go, and I thought it was going to be streaming, but it was not. So I am glad I'm getting a show review from Adam Gerstein. Back to you, Adam.
Last time he performed was actually at the Bowery Electric with a completely different band when he put out a couple of songs. And the Bowery Electric is a club that's owned by Jesse Mallon.
Yeah. He owns the Bowery Electric? I didn't know he owned that. I know he has he has a small bar in the Village. I did not know he owned Bowery Electric. I thought maybe he booked it or something. Maybe he owns it.
4 clubs and bars.
Oh, well, there you go. He owns 4 clubs.
In the city, this is his biggest club. The capacity, and I've been there many times, is probably about 200, 225.
Okay.
And the last time I was there was actually this past April to see.
I went to the Bowery Electric when I was working at Mevio. Ron Bloom, the CEO of Mevio, I was head of production, and he flew me out to New York. There was an event happening at Bowery Electric, some kind of a tech event, and I was there.
Jesse performed with his band. At that time, the club was only seats that had plastic partitions separating all the seats.
That was his Fine Art of Social Distancing or whatever series.
It was about half capacity allowed in. Tonight, the club was wide open. It would fit as many people who would show up. And we were really excited to see the show. Just to give you a little heads up about, my history with the Dictators. First time I saw them was in 1977.
Nice.
I went to that famous show at the Palladium with AC/DC and Michael Stanley, and the Dictators headlined that show.
Michael Stanley band.
I think Richard Fusey might have gone to that show as well. And then I saw Manitoba's Wild Kingdom open up for the Ramones.
Thank you for reminding me. Happy birthday, Richard Fusey. I don't know how old he is, but today's his birthday. I'm going to take a sip of my second Tecate of the day to you, Richard Fusey. Happy birthday, friend. One of the most active members of the Rock and Roll Geek community on the Facebook group. Happy birthday, Richard Fusey. I love you, friend. Let me back it up just a little bit.
I went to that famous show at the Palladium with AC/DC and Michael Stanley, and the Dictators headlined that show. I think Richard Fusey might have gone to that show as well. And then I saw Manitoba's Wild Kingdom open up for the Ramones.
Yeah.
Probably around 1989.
So you're a super fan.
And I was really not into the Dictators until I saw them in a benefit in 1996. And then they just blew everybody away on that bill.
I'm going to say it again. Handsome Dick Manitoba. I don't know how your show review is going to be, but as far as I'm concerned, Handsome Dick Manitoba is in the top 5 frontmen of all time. And I'm not saying that because I know him now. I've always thought it. How you can tell a great frontman, to me, this is my opinion, how you can tell a great frontman. If the power went off while the band was playing, power shuts off, could that guy entertain the crowd until the power came on? And Handsome Dick Manitoba, in my opinion, can do that as good or better than anybody. One of my chapters of the book that I'm never going to release until I'm probably retired, I'm only halfway done writing, one of the chapters is going to be my top 5 frontmen. Who are my top 5 frontmen? Maybe that's another episode for the Dog Days of Podcasting. I'm burping. I'm trying to hold back a burp of the Tecate. All right, back to you, Adam Gerstein.
From 96 on, I probably saw the band about 40 times,
Nice.
Seeing every permutation, whether it was the Dictators, Manitoba's NYC, Dictators NYC. And as I said, we were really excited about this show.
Why do I have a feeling a little disappointment is coming from Adam Gerstein? HDM ain't going to like that, Adam.
We got there probably around 7:30. There was really nobody in the club. There was going to be an opening band named Toasted, which we never heard of. So we were not so sure we really wanted to see them, but given that the space can get really tight if the place fills up, we staked our seat on the side of the stage, as my friend has a hip issue and he has to be able to sit down.
Yeah, isn't that nice getting old with the hip issues and everything else? Yeah, it's good times.
Toasted came on. It was around 8 o'clock. Think Spicoli played by Sean Penn as the singer of the band. And it pretty much gives you a description of what that was. It was amusing. Maybe went on a little bit too long, but afterwards we waited another 15, 20 minutes until they set up the stage.
By the way, you Adam Gerstein, you texted me when you were there and showed me the crowd, and I was a little bit nervous. So I got on the phone and called Handsome Dick Manitoba, and pardon me, I'm. This is a combination of Tourette's and clearing my throat. I have beer stuck in my throat now, so just a second. I called Handsome Dick Manitoba to wish him good, to wish him luck. And I could tell he was a little bit nervous because it's the first time he's played in a while. But he was excited as well, and he was telling me everything he was going to wear, and he was appreciative that I called him. I'm not dropping names like Eddie Trunk, but maybe I am. Yes, I probably am. But back to you. I don't know why I chimed in with that. I'm just letting you know. I'm trying to set the stage for the show that's about to get reviewed here. Or back to you, Adam Gerstein.
And Manitoba comes out. Now, Manitoba, for this gig, hired a bunch of New York musicians. And
Yes.
what I mean by New York musicians, guys who really play with, a dozen other bands. One of them is Mike Fornatel, who was in the last version of the Left Bank, Walk Away Renee fame. But he also plays with a band called Losers Lounge, which is a band that plays around town. They do, on a given night, it might be a whole night of Tom Petty covers, or it might be Dylan covers. He had other musicians from bands like Raging Slab, Monster Magnet. But for me, what was really interesting is he had Tish and Snooki.
Oh, yeah. From the backup singers of Blondie, and they own the Manic Panic company, right? Also, well, he's going to probably get to it, but Arno Hecht.
Tish and Snooki are legendary in New York. They used to play with the Stilettos. They play with Blondies. They played with the Sick Fucks. They have Manic Panic, which is a famous clothing store in the Village. And Tish and Snooki were also playing with Blue Coop. I know you would appreciate this, Mike.
Dennis Dunaway and some of the guys from BOC.
As Blue Coop is Dennis Dunaway of Alice Cooper, and Joe and Albert Bouchard of Blue Oyster Cult. They haven't played a gig in a very long time. So, one of the things we were worried about was that Manitoba was going to come on stage and rehash his problems with Andy and Scott and the rest of the Dictators.
I'm guessing that he didn't, because he was trying to take the high road, I'm pretty sure.
Really, much to his credit, he came on stage and he decided just to come out, perform music.
Yeah,
He came out
how
in a
it should be.
sleeveless Muhammad Ali shirt.
Yep, hoodie.
He's talked about how he had lost 40 pounds.
Yep.
Got to
Working
give him a
out.
lot of credit. He looks good. But as my wife would say, senior citizens should not be wearing sleeveless shirts, no matter how good they think they look. And I think
I love it. Let me back that up, because I think I was talking over it.
should not be wearing sleeveless shirts, no matter how good they think they look. And I think the advice would apply to Manitoba. He will later change that shirt into a Grateful Dead shirt. And it was funny, somebody asked him why he was wearing it, and he goes, well, they were the original punks. All right, now to the set list. He opens up with Cars and Girls, which is
Cars and Girls! Cars! Woo woo! That's an
from
opener,
the first
huh?
Dictators album. And what was really interesting was I didn't really know how Tish and Snooki were going to fit into the band. I was kind of questioning that.
I have a feeling they would fit in great, because they have a sense of humor like Manitoba does, and woo woo! Cars and Girls, that's perfect. Background singers.
But as soon as they start playing Cars and Girls, they're doing these backup vocals, which are kind of like out of California in the 60s. And actually, that a lot of that influenced Andy Chernoff, who wrote the song.
Yeah.
And Dick sounded really good.
That's good to hear.
He sang on key. His voice was very strong. You could tell he was a little bit tentative. You could tell he was nervous. And the band performed the song well, I would say. Not a lot of
You did not talk about Arno Heck, the saxophone player, who is from the Uptown Horns, and he's been on just about every recording you can think of that has saxophone. That guy's a legend. And he also played, Arno Heck, the saxophone player from Uptown Horns, played on the song that we recorded, the new Handsome Dick Manitoba song called Deloise Nation, which you'll probably get to in the set list.
Improvisation or anything? They were looking at iPads, Foreign to Tell in particular. They go into The Party Starts Now.
Oh, that's a good one. Wild Kingdom.
And then Manitoba, after that song, he invited everybody, Let's Twist, which is Baby's Let's Twist.
Baby, let's twist. Baby, let's twist. Oh, it's a good one, man.
The next song was one of 5 covers.
Okay.
Which is Slow Death, which is a flaming groovy song.
Slow Death, also on the Manitoba's Wild Kingdom. Is that on Wild Kingdom? I want to say it is, but I could be wrong.
Taters did that very early on, and it's also on one of the outtake compilations. Goes into the next big thing.
I'm the next big thing. Also from Go Girl Crazy.
Plays Avenue A.
Avenue A is on...
Did New York, New York.
New York, New York. Wild Kingdom tune. Great tune.
Faster and Louder.
Faster and Louder. Also on... Is that on Dictators or on Blood Brothers? Is it on Blood Brothers or is that a Wild Kingdom tune? I don't know. I can't think of it right now.
Now, again, one thing I have to say with these songs, I thought that it really missed Ross's playing.
Of course. Of course. Ross the Boss is a... That one, Manitoba and Ross the Boss, those guys need to be playing together! I've been trying forever to get these guys back. I don't care about Andy Chernoff. Andy Chernoff hates Manitoba, and I don't know anything about. I don't want to talk about the all the shit that's going on. But Ross the Boss is perfect for HDM.
Doing quite a few of the solos.
But I'll tell you this: if the Butlers play as his backing band, you can, as Ted Nugent says, you can bet your ass that the solos will be rockin'.
I want to say it was almost mechanical in a way, without the emotion that Ross would bring to the song.
Yeah, Ross the Boss, such an underrated guitar player. I'm sorry for keeping interrupting you, Adam Gerstein, but Ross the Boss, so underrated. What a guitar player. Come on, guys, mend your fucking fences.
Ross is one of my favorite guitarists because he has the ability to shred, but he also plays with a lot of strength.
He's a badass.
And I think he was really missed for the evening. Then he goes into Deloise Nation.
Yeah, the new one.
I saw the title of the song on the set list.
Yeah.
When I was before.
That's the new one. Sven from Torpedo Head wrote the tune. Manitoba wrote the lyrics. I executive produced it. I love the tune. I so much wish I could play that on the show tonight. I wish. Sven won't let me. He'll kill me.
Manitoba came on. And my first reaction was, okay, maybe it's a song about Dom DeLuise. Well, it wasn't. It's a song about the brothers DeLuise who ran the neighborhood where he lived.
That's right.
And how
here it is.
They would...
I'm Johnny Boy, Johnny DeLuise, 16 years old, 6th grade as a breeze. That's a little bit. Well, if I got a beef, I use my Garrison belt. What you gonna do with your 20 new welts? It's a good tune. I think it's catchy as hell. Sven wrote some great music to it.
Pretty much terrorized the neighborhood. One of the lyrics is, if you look at them wrong, you get smacked in the face.
That's right.
The chorus goes, I want to be like a DeLuise. When they walk by, the kids all freeze.
So you remember it.
Like
Look, a good tune. You remember it, Adam.
Triple D DeLuise. He was nervous performing that song. He said right up front,
He did not know the words.
Remember the lyrics. He had the 3 pieces of paper with all the lyrics on them, and he was reading from the lyrics, and I think it kind of affected the song. The lyrics.
Right, I'm going to give you a little teaser of it, okay? I'm gonna see if I can find it on the iTunes here. I'm only going to play a little clip because Sven will kill me. All right, this is let's see. I have it. Let me see if I can find it here. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. All right, I'm gonna let you talk while I'm looking for it. Okay. I'm just saying. Now I lost Adam Gerstein. Okay.
Kind of like Ramones, stupid, but they are enchanting. I like to hear that song when it really gets developed. What I also found interesting was he said that some guy in San Francisco, without mentioning
that's me
names.
All right, a little bit of DeLuise. Okay, you ready? Let's see. This is unmixed, so a little bit of this. All right, that's all I'm going to play. That's all I'm going to play. Okay.
And a guy in Germany helped me write the song.
Sven.
But we'll have to see where that goes. Then after DeLuise Nation, he did Stay With Me. Stay With Me is usually the last song before the encore. They did it a little bit earlier in the game.
My heart is calling. Won't you stay with me? I recorded that song in the Flex Pleasers. Let me see if I can find that. To Pleasers. Okay, let me see if I can find B-sides. All right, I do have it. Do it? Yeah, I have it. It's a bad recording, but maybe I'll play that to close out the show.
And Arno Heck
with Michael Butler on lead vocals, by the way. I'm gonna back it up here.
This Stay With Me. Stay With Me is usually the last song before the encore. They did it a little bit earlier and again. Arno Heck, by the way, was on saxophone.
Yeah.
And he was getting lost in the mix. And one of the things Arno was doing was playing some of the lead lines that Ross will play. So it's an interesting concept, and if the mix was better, I think it would have came through a little bit more. Arno Heck, by the way, is play with the Uptown Horns. They play with everyone from James Brown. They played with Keith Richards. They played with the Stones.
Everybody.
So this guy has a pedigree.
Yes. He's a legend.
Then they go into Who Will Save Rock.
And again, he played saxophone on DeLuise Nation. There's a sax solo. All right, back to you.
And Rich is talking about the stories of when he was younger and he would go to shows and he would see Scott. And he said something which I thought was really intelligent, talking about how, yes, rock and roll is different. It's a different generation. And while we, as older adults, may not get what people listen to now, and in my case, I actually do get to go see a lot of new music, that we shouldn't say it wasn't as good as what it used to be. It's just different, and I really agree with him on that. Last 4 songs were covers of Sonic Reducer, which is a song that Dictators have not performed very much. Kick Out the Jams, which is a song that Dick sang with
MC5,
the DKT reunited version of the MC5. He was one of the lead vocalists for them. Search and Destroy, which is a Iggy song, and Dictators were doing that very early on in the 70s. And then the last song, of course, is California Sun. And actually, Dictators were doing that before the Ramones did it. You could tell by the end of the show, Manitoba was really happy. just happy that he made it through the ordeal. But it wasn't an ordeal. We were really very pleasantly surprised and happy to see.
Let me tell you something. He needed that show, man. He was so worried, or not, I don't know if worried is the right term, but he was so anxious about wanting to get back out in music, and he was so happy after it was done because it was a half-decent crowd there, and they were receptive, and he got some love coming his way. After all the bullshit he's been through, has some love back at him. So, yes, it was very good for Handsome Dick Manitoba, who I happen to really like.
Ordeal.
You get what you get with Handsome Dick Manitoba. There's no pretense with Handsome Dick Manitoba. The guy is the real deal, and that's what rock and roll is all about, and there's not enough of them.
Really very pleasantly surprised and happy to see that he got through the show, sounded great, didn't rehash any vendettas, just focused in on the music. I would say the biggest surprise was nothing from the new album. I'm not a fan of the new album.
The new album being Born in the Bronx.
Do think, however, that Eva Destruction was a really good video. And it's a cheap video that he did, but he filmed in the schoolyard and all around sites in New York. And I think he did a great job with the video. I think he does a great job with the cover. I kind of like to have seen that.
I agree.
Really surprised he didn't do Born in the Bronx. It seemed like that would have been appropriate given the theme for the night. The crowd size, I would say, with maybe about 150 people. It wasn't as packed in the front as Bowery.
I think 150 people is a decent crowd for Handsome Dick Manitoba solo. If I'll bet you, well, maybe the Dictators without Manitoba, I'll bet you they'd do 150. If Ross the Boss by himself, I bet you he wouldn't do 150. Andy Chernoff by himself, I bet he wouldn't do 75. All right? Nothing against Andy Chernoff. The guy's one of the greatest songwriters of all time, in my opinion. But I think that's respectable for Handsome Dick Manitoba. And when you sent me that picture at the beginning of the show, and there was nobody there, I'm going, oh man, please show up. Some people show up. But I think 150 people is a respectable turnout.
Electric usually is or could be. I noticed a couple of old Dictator fans, but not too many of them.
Well, that's good,
too. It was a good mix of geriatric folks and young folks. Monty, who was the road manager from the Ramones, was there. I was speaking to him for a while.
Monty Melnick.
And the real question is, where does he go from here?
Where does he go from here? We're writing more tunes, friend. We're writing more tunes. Hopefully he's going to come out to California and we're going to record those more tunes. And hopefully he's going to do some shows in California. And hopefully the Butlers are going to be the backup band. Let's hope. We can only hope.
It's not a show I think he could take on the road. I don't think he could draw enough people. I think he's going to have to figure out who his musicians are going to be, because these guys probably didn't come very cheap. And all in all, good experience, and glad I went. And Michael, stay frosty, my friend.
Stay frosty, friend. Thank you for the audio comment. I really appreciate it. You too can leave me a show review. Record it into your phone like Adam Gerstein did, and email it to me, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. That's rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. Thank you again, Adam. I really appreciate that. And thank you for listening, friends. You can find this show at rockandrollgeek.com. You can find me on the Facebook, R&R Geek. You can find, there's a Facebook group, Rock and Roll Geek Facebook group. There's two, actually, but the one that has the most is the one that, there's a fake one out there, and I don't know if that's even active anymore. I should try to get that one deleted. But it's the one that has over 500 members. You just have to answer two questions so that I know you're not a, let's face it, so I know you're not a bot, okay? And you can find me on the Twitter, R&R Geek. You can find me on the Instagram, Rock and Roll Geek, if you want to see fishing photos and woodworking projects and me making my guitar cases and this and that. All right, friend, and please keep the donations coming, because without your donations, this show would die a horrible, putrid, stench-filled death. Should we play the Flexipleasers with me singing "Stay With Me," a Dictator's tune? All right, recording's not great, so bear with me on the lo-fi-ness of it, but here's me singing a Dictator's tune. Stay with me.
It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.